everybody. It's... wait, that's not the right one. That's the random select. So let's try this again. Welcome back to the Netherkast. I am Cyborg, and I am joined always by Shad, Razor, and Temp. And this is episode 107 of the Netherkast. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And you can check us out on the Discord. That's in the description. Completely free. Come join the discussion. We have 24/7 discussion going on. So come check that out. We'll have game nights, tournaments, all that fun stuff once the game comes out. So feel free to come join. There's really no reason not to. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you're tuning in for the first time, hey, we're glad to have you. On that note, we had plenty of content that came out. Story, trailer, Cassie, Kano, gameplay, and a little bit of Jackie gameplay, I guess, if you want to count that, and a Jackie render. So we got all sorts of stuff to discuss, and there was like an embargo lifted on gameplay for Johnny Cage, Cassie, and Kano, so some content creators got to go check that out. So definitely some topics to discuss. So I guess start off with the story trailer.
Right, so is anyone here like amazeballs? I'm kind of amazeballs.
I'm just impressed Shao Kahn is in it. Is anybody else like...
No, I was calling that shit from day one. I'm sorry to say it. Sorry / not sorry. But I'm like, Goro's one thing, but I don't think that you put the boss of all bosses in MK behind like a pre-order bonus and like keep him an NPC character. No.
I don't know, I feel like... I mean, I was never, like, 100% believing he wasn't. Like, it was just impossible. It's just that, you know, after Goro and Darkseid, it seemed unlikely. And I'm sort of... Maybe this is a flawed impression, but I feel like the pre-order character is one of the last guys to get finished, and that would make it harder to put them in stuff.
I don't know.
But
I
obviously
guess maybe it was in the past.
You know, obviously they got him in there. And, I mean, he's in there quite a bit. He seems fairly important to the story. And, I'm happy for that.
I think there was a lot of stink raised about how Goro did nothing, like the goggles.
Well,
like,
it's not just that Goro... It's not just that Goro
presence.
didn't do anything, it's that he was so important in the comic, and the comic completely disagrees with his in-game bio and ending.
Yeah, just a little bit. Temp?
About Khan specifically, or just the story trailer as a whole?
It's on your mind.
It does seem like the Collector's going to be an Outworld henchman. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Everything else looks good, but I'm
also a little bummed he doesn't have pointy ears sticking out of his hood. Turns out those are just his behind-the-back arms.
See, I like that. He looks like this relaxed cat person.
I like the arms. I just feel like the ears would have been a cool look. Like, he looks fine without them. I was just... Like, there's that guy in Infinity War with the spear who fights Vision a couple times. He has ears coming out of his hood. I think it's a cool look.
Yeah. See, I think at the moment he's the newcomer I'm the most excited about because there's just something really stylish about him. I suppose it should also be mentioned that like a lot of the rumors about him said that he was maybe cybernetic or something, so I don't know. I think that they got him confused with Geras and I mean,
well, I
he
think
looks fun.
I mean, a lot of the leakers, they're just trying to make out what they're seeing on the screen, and they don't know for sure, and maybe some things about the way he's dressed looked like metal to them, and they were like, I don't know what that is. Maybe he's robotic.
Well, he definitely seems...
Yeah, like, now that we've seen him close up, he's totally just, like, a guy with some weird arms.
I'm gonna say maybe outside random guess some sort of Shokan Oni hybrid. Maybe, not possibly. Because the arms are definitely not in traditional Shokan structure, they're, like, kind of coming out of his back.
Yeah, they're, like, the top ones are, like, backwards.
Yeah. It's a really cool, interesting design. Like, one of my favorites of the last maybe 15 years. I look forward to seeing what it's gonna be like.
Like, I'm deeply curious about, like, so when we saw Collector standing next to Shao Kahn, everybody in that group is, like, meeting with Kronika, and she's saying, everyone who disdains the current course of history and that's who she's recruiting. And so I'm like, so what is Collector? What's his problem with the timeline? And what's Aaron Black's problem with the timeline?
Thought I'd be rich by
Why
now.
is he there?
Thought I'd be rich and paid more. I want to try it again. I need more money.
I'm hoping Aaron Black's actually on the side of Raiden this time.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be 2 Aarons. It looks like that's young Aaron, and like I'm sure old Aaron will be with Kotal, because like if there's not a version of Aaron hanging out with Kotal, then none of Kotal's guys are in the game at all. He's all by himself.
well,
I mean, no, go on, Tim.
I was gonna say that is. They actually show Raiden just blasting Kotal Khan from the back. Like,
Oh,
so
that was Shao.
seems-
That was Shao Kahn.
That was Shao Kahn?
Yeah, I thought it looked like Kotal at first too, so I'm like freeze framing through it. It's totally Shao.
Now,
I
what
got
was
my
it he
Khan
said?
mixed up.
What was it he said in 9 after he snapped Kung Lao's neck? I will peel the flesh from your bones. Oh my god. If we get like 15 minutes of Raiden fucking up Shao Kahn, I'll be so happy. Because, I mean, as much as I feel, like, antagonistic towards the guy for messing everything up so badly, I do feel like it's finally time that we saw Raiden kind of cut loose and kick some ass and, like, take matters into his own hands. That's the shit I'm looking forward to.
You know that bit in the very last episode of Justice League Unlimited where Superman goes, I feel like I'm in a world made of cardboard, I'm always holding back, but you can take it, can't you?
Yep.
I want that with Raiden and Khan. I feel like I've been waiting for something like that for 25 years.
Those last couple episodes of Justice League, man, they're cathartic. And I'm looking forward to some payoff for this. So...
I don't... I'm trying not to... I'm trying to say something that doesn't sound like bad. It's just... I was very okay with the trailer, but I wasn't super excited, and that's okay. I'm mostly looking forward to the gameplay stuff.
I feel like this... That's understandable. I kind of feel like this was really kind of thrown out in a hurry. That maybe it was orchestrated as a response to the leaks. It seems like it to me.
It seems like it may have been a response to the leaks, but it also takes... We know it takes them quite a bit of time and work to get a trailer out.
Oh, this wasn't done overnight. Like, there are still, though, a couple of characters notable from that leak. I'm not going to say who, because I don't know what our policy on, like, talking about those guys is going to be until they're officially released. But it does get a lot of people shown in that leak out of the way, barring maybe one or two.
Like, it was our reveal of Jackie and Kotal.
Yeah, like, right? We got...
Aaron.
Yep. We got some Cassie gameplay. We got, like, Kano breakdowns and Cassie breakdowns. And also, hey, here's a Jackie render while we're at it. We know that you know. Let's get it all on the table. And it's a smart move.
Technically, Frost is in there a little bit, but if you don't know it's her, you wouldn't notice.
She's like, her? Shh. That could be anybody. We don't know. What are you talking about? Frost? You haven't seen that character in 10 years. That was Devora. Clearly, case of mistaken identity.
There were 2 Devoras in that shot. You're right. One of them was in a big white cloak.
There is some relief, though, about the Collector. I thought they were going to do like a General Grievous thing with him, or I don't think we have a whole lot of Naruto fans listening, but if you know Sasori, I'll post a picture in the chat. Sasori, you can see his head, and he's cloaking a giant body. And the reason he's doing that is because he has a bunch of weird shit going on underneath that cloak. I thought they were going to do that with the 6 limbs, but no, he's just a dude for the most part. He's got some extra limbs, but the Collector's is just a blue dude.
He's a blue dude with 2 arms coming out of his back, and you know, I'm thinking he's special.
At least he looks okay. Like, I thought they were gonna do some weird shit, and I think he looks usable. I hope he's interesting, but I mean either or. It's like Khan. I know you guys are super excited about Khan, but until I see some gameplay, none of it means anything. I need to see what he can do and how he feels. Darkseid was a big thing for me where I was excited about the character and I just wasn't feeling it when I started playing. And once he was in my hands, I'm like, this isn't working.
That's fair. I mean, I think for me, aesthetics are like as much as 50% of what goes into me liking a character. Like Jackie could be the best playing character in MKX, and I'd still never touch her just because I don't like the look of her. And Jackie in this game looks a lot better. Like the cornrows, like just any kind of hair that's just matted flat to the skull is not doing it for me. I need some kind of like shape and movement up there.
You don't like Jackie's
Otherwise,
hair?
just shave their head bald, you know?
I don't know. She's got a bit of bounce.
And then it was just, you know, her outfit was just a t-shirt and pants with camo print. That's all she was. And now she's got like this G.I. Joe armor. Now she feels like a character, you know? Now there's something to her when I look at her.
It's funny you say that.
I look at the collector and I'm like, I don't care what his moves are. I already think he's a good character. I think this guy's a keeper.
Yeah, like
He looks
I want
good.
to see him in MK12. I've already decided.
to me, he's already kind of got that 50%, and it's also a matter of like seeing how he does play, kind of like that. But like the glowing red eyes, the laid back posture, the fact that he's not saying anything at all and just kind of standing there being like kind of relaxed, creepy. I'm digging that. I'm
That's
really
probably
digging
the most
that.
cat part about him is just how relaxed he is. I just want to see him like curl up in a box or some shit. I think that would really put a cherry on top. But
I have a feeling he's going to be really vicious and freaky when he plays. Something about those aesthetics really makes me think that there's something promising there, but I'm
You
also
think this
the
is
weird.
the calm before the storm posture.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, but again, you know, proviso. I was also the one who said that about Ferritor, and as much as I still like Ferritor, you know, that play style, those aesthetics, they didn't gel with everyone.
I am a fan of 50% of Ferritor.
It's the Farah isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, if they brought Farah back, people would deal. No one wants Tor. That's all there is.
Well,
to it.
no, wait. I'm backwards. Tor's the half I like.
Really?
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
more of a Tor
Farrah-
guy myself.
I'm more of a fair
I don't
guy.
like Tara Strong's little girl voice.
Okay, so thank you, BC. So that's 2 for Farah, 2 for Tor.
I like the
Wow.
voice. It's everything else I don't like. It's just
I just like
It's
little
the-
savage that kind of has broken English little mouth type of person. I think that's
Yeah, like she was
Well, I
cute,
like-
vicious, and I really enjoyed that.
I like the idea of it, and like I said, I like the Tor half. My problem with Farah is that despite looking like Master Blaster, it comes off more like a little girl riding Blast.
I suppose.
I want more Master in it, you know?
But I kind of found Tor more interesting when like people were speculating whether he was like Shao Kahn's resurrected corpse or some dumb shit like that. But he just turned out to be, I don't know, a horse.
Yeah, he's just a big dude.
That's it. That's all there is to it. But
He
that's
doesn't need to be anything more than a big dude. I'm okay with big dude.
Sometimes a big dude is just a big dude. The scene at Button Peep. So, I guess, now that we've fapped about the Collector for like 15 minutes, and how cool he looks just standing there, how about people that actually did stuff, huh?
well, that's the thing. Like, yeah.
That's a lot of sounds. I feel you on that.
It was a story trailer.
Well, I mean,
It's gonna be all cutscenes.
Okay, like, we saw a lot of shit there. Go on, Tim.
I don't know. It's hard to explain why I'm so lukewarm on this. It's just it's like, oh, there's Kotal Khan. Kotal Khan's talking to Raiden, and then it's like, oh shit. Well, look, there's Jared Black, and it's like, oh, there's two. Actually, the two giants was like the best part for me, but because I guess in my head it's exactly what I expected, and that's good. But it's just like, it's the new stuff that I was really kind of gravitating towards, and a lot of that stuff we just already knew, so it was hard to really get excited for that.
I don't think MK11 is going to be a game about new stuff.
It's
That's
going to be
okay.
about
I don't think it ever
putting a
was.
wrapper on old stuff.
I think it's a good thing.
And Tep, I think you've also said that that like you're kind of like off the lore train these days, so I'm not surprised.
It's
Yeah, I mean-
complicated. Yeah.
There's
Temp's-
really no reason to be on the lore train. It's just that I don't have an off button.
You don't have a break.
This lore train has no brakes, and I'm taking charge of the engine. I'm shoveling coal in there. It's all multicolors, like Back to the Future Part 3. I want to bash myself in the head with a hammer until it's April. Then I wake up and I play this game. For some reason, I'm just really excited whenever I look at it. And Smoke's not even in the friggin' game. This is good for me. I'm hype. I'm very.
I mean, look,
another
all you
thing,
need to show
yeah.
me is what kind of belt Liu Kang is wearing in his human costume, and that'll decide whether or not I'm excited for a Mortal Kombat game.
The stuff I've seen does look. I mean, that I am so booked. It'll be a miracle if I get everything completed before this game comes out. I don't even know if I'm playing the demo. I'm that busy, so I think that's probably a factor somewhere. But it looks good. Not really any complaints. We'll get to the Kano and Cassie stuff in a second, but I was happy. Nothing like made me mad or pissed me off. And that's always good. So yeah, it's good. I should say though, yeah.
Yeah, no, go on. You should say.
Well, it's not that I don't care about the lore. As a matter of fact, someone asked a very fair question a couple of weeks ago to me and said, "Hey, how can you say you're maining Jade when you haven't even looked at the gameplay for the unrevealed characters yet?" And my response was, it's sort of like it's a panel. When you pick a character, gameplay is the most important part, but the second most important part is also establishing a personal brand. And that character, if I get good with that character is the face of my skill set, and it's the face of all my hard work. So if Meat was the character I gelled the most with, I still can't main Meat. And there's just no one else on the known roster on the leak list who is going to fit better than Jade. And thank God Jade looks good. But aesthetics and even story too. I can never play Devora just because I hate the character. I just hate what they did with her, and she's so uninteresting to me. But so it's a very complicated matter. Even my feelings of the lore are very complicated. I do like the old timeline, and I still love my characters and what they did, and in many ways, some ways of what they became. Even though I don't like the MKX story, I like what Scorpion became. So I mean, it's very complicated, but it's not something I can leap out of my seat for. It's really the gameplay is really what's gonna really grab my attention from this point forward, especially when we're so close to the game.
I mean, who you're gonna main is ultimately a matter, I think, more than anything else, of who
that defines the game, really,
your play
honestly.
style.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about a lot about what I look for in a character I'm going to main in terms of the buttons, but one of the main reasons I gravitate towards Liu Kang has nothing to do with the fact that he just happens to fit my style. Liu Kang stands for what I care about in the Mortal Kombat franchise. He is the hero of the original trilogy.
That's a real slice of life right there. Everyone should be more like Razor in this respect. He's fighting for justice, people. Meanwhile, I'm fighting for, like, I don't know, automation, turning people into robots.
You're just fighting to be in a game when you're playing Smoke.
That is part of the show.
Yeah, we lost that fight.
No lies.
We got bodied, it seems.
Ugh.
That's one reason why I
It's still DLC. I know your feelings on DLC temp, but it exists.
Sadsmoke.jpg.
Me too. I mean, it's also timing too. DLC comes out early. It could solve a lot of problems. I mean, there's always just going to be characters I'm just going to love. Even if the gameplay doesn't gel, I will put in the work if I love the character. One reason why I love Sub-Zero so much is because he's a paragon of moral maturity. And more than, I think, any other character in fighting games, of what it means to have resolve and to develop conviction over a long period of time and how you respond to that. That is so interesting to me. So he'll always be, like, on my radar for characters to play, just because even if he doesn't fit, getting good at the fighting character is all about building an association with something you care about. It's all about immersing yourself into art and connecting with it, I've used the portrait example in the past. A portrait's great, but at the end of the day, all I can do is look at it. I can look at a piece of art, but I can't connect with it. In fighting games, if you like a piece of art, you can connect with it, and you can brand yourself to it, and you can take that with you and associate yourself with you. Even outside the game, you can associate with that character, and I think that's so interesting and so beautiful. So that's why I can't play Devora.
God damn, that was beautiful, man. That was beautiful.
It's important.
Okay, so, who's having another box of Kanos? I might. I might dig in.
Is that an official picture? Because I've seen it all over our Discord, and I keep wondering if someone photoshopped that or if Ed posted.
I'm gonna go check the fucking Twitter right now because
Ed posted it. I don't know where it's from.
Ed
but
posted it.
Yeah.
Jesus. Out of, I think it got posted on the official MK11 Twitter too. Is that like from the staff? That would be really great.
It could
Makes
be
me
an
hungry.
indication of what's in the crypt. That'd be cool.
Oh man, if there's, oh, that would be the best. It's been so long since there's been joke pictures in a crypt. In fact, it's literally been since Deadly Alliance.
For real, that was one of the most fun parts about that game. Figuring out that like everyone had one of these and going through to see what your favorite character in that game's was. Quan Chiana Sax. Shang Tsung's Odor Eaters. Nah.
The fact that one of my favorite things about the Mugen versions of Mortal Kombat is that Quan Chi plays the sax as a friendship.
That is, I didn't know that. That's sick.
The things that they are doing with Mugen now, they're frightening. They're frightening and they're amazing. I saw a Shao Kahn Hydra animality. It looked like it could have been out of MK3 with like the glowing, ugly graphics. Seriously. I gotta figure out how to program Mugen again because I kind of want to get in on this action. But yeah, Kano and voice acting and parries.
Kano
There's
looks
so
fucking
much-
great.
Oh my god, he's, you know, they said it in one word. He's dirty. He feels dirty. He's spitting at you. He's dropping.
I love how
fighters.
many different animations he has that are just kicking you in the gut while you're lying on the ground.
The work that they've put into personality for every character in this game, like everything can be a gif. I love the one where like Jade just turns around and like slams her staff on the ground and kind of leans into it. That's my girl right there. I'm looking forward to her so much. The sassy, take no shit attitude. Oh, but okay. Back to Kano. I know that reception to the voices is a mixed thing. It seems to be leaning towards positive on the whole. It's gonna be weird for me because on the one hand, like, he does sound Australian now. And they made a point to point out on their Twitter that like Kano's voice up till now has been kind of like this Cockney British accent. It's not Australian. It kind of never really has been in the games. So from what I'm hearing and reading, like, people are saying that according to some Australians, Kano actually does sound Australian now, and he's using Australian slang, and I'm really happy for that, you know? There's been work put in, real work with this game to, like, kind of make the character's nationality a little bit more a part of them. Like, Sub-Zero is, like, wearing some Chinese-looking headgear.
Yeah, there's an authenticity I think they're going for.
And that's a beautiful thing, but on the other side, I'm torn because although he didn't sound Australian, fucking Matthew McConaughey, I think the guy's name was?
Michael McConaughey.
I thought I had the wrong McConaughey. Michael. Ah, Jesus. I got so used to him as Kano.
Yeah.
He really had like the gravelly tone in his voice, and
Yeah, I miss the gravel. I don't have any problem with the new guy, but it's gonna be hard to adjust.
I was so disappointed when I first heard it, but I have to sit down and I have to remind myself that if what I want out of characters in MK out of all things is continuity, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
But he honestly kind of sounds a little closer to like his Deception Conquest voice, just a little bit. I don't know.
I could see that.
If I look at it that way, it doesn't seem quite so painful.
Well, you know, the guy who did it in the 3D era had been doing it since Special Forces. So that guy pretty much has to be a Midway employee.
Cassie, though. Jury's still out for me on that one.
You know, I have a thought on Cassie about the drone, because there's a lot of people who sort of complain about the military characters having these drone helpers in their movesets, and I definitely see it for Sonya, where, like, it doesn't really fit the flavor of her character. I don't think she needs a gun turret added when she's mostly been known for gymnastics and shooting the onion rings. But with Cassie, I think there's a potential there. I don't expect them to capitalize on it necessarily. I think it's going to be a thing that seems cooler in my head, like Possessed Kenshi. But if you were to take her little robot buddy and give it a personality, then it becomes like the sidekick in a Saturday morning cartoon. And I think Cassie could probably use something like that.
Skeets.
Yeah, something like Skeets, or like think of her as the main character in a Transformers movie, and the little drone is Bumblebee.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I saw in it, too. That's why, as far as I'm not interested in Cassie as a character still, but in terms of the gameplay direction, I think it makes a lot of sense, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that little drone sacrifice itself in story mode and then save everybody, and then it's a big sad moment that this little thing, as its light bulb shuts off.
I kind of really hope they don't do that.
No, I hope they do.
That would be awesome, dude. Come on.
It feels a tad predictable, but
the ultimate test of did we make you care about this stupid floating eyeball is, are you sad when it dies?
I mean, one of the best parts of Doom 2016 is when Doom Guy chooses not to delete Vega, or he makes a backup copy of Vega. Like, my heart just fucking bled so hard for that. I love that shit. I'm actually the opposite of you, Shad. I actually was very receptive to Cassie and how they designed her. I wasn't really feeling Kano much for two reasons.
Same.
And I think at least one of the reasons me and Cyborg share. I think we thought Kano was a good match for this engine, and he wasn't the classic MK3 Kano I thought we would get. I think that's one reason why I wasn't in love with Kano. The other reason is the stance. I don't think the stance looks good. I think intelligent people can disagree on this, but the stance bothers me a lot. It doesn't look natural to me.
I mean, like I said, the
pissing also. I don't like the pissing, but yes, go
I'm
on.
not a big fan of it.
I feel like
the
there's
pissing's a bit much.
There's a little too much of the pissing.
He does it
It's
in
a lot of piss.
he does it in his brutality pose, and he does it in the start. Like that's
Yeah,
a lot
like,
of pissing.
If it was just an opening and it wasn't his default, it was an unlockable one, I would be fine with it.
MK12, he's jonesing for a heroin fix, starts like putting muddy water in syringes,
That
injecting
would be
directly
a
into his
fucking
tongue. Dear
Like,
God, no.
If
Well,
he
like,
does a
seriously.
tourniquet around his arm and puts, God, that'd be a crazy ass win pose if he does.
Just-
it.
I feel like
filthier and
drugs
filthier.
is a more cabal direction for some reason.
Where the fuck did... Oh, I get it, because he's on speed.
Yeah, there it
is. Delete this. Okay, but no, like, I don't actually... I don't like either voice. It's just gonna take some getting used to, because I was really attached to how both of them sounded last time, and Kano for quite some time now. So we'll see. As far as the drone goes, you could give that entirely to Cassie, and I'd be happy. Like, as far as character continuity goes, for Sonya, it feels like there's been none for 20 years.
Yeah, that's the
And-
problem, really.
And I kind of want to be doing square wave flights and sonic rings and, like, leg grabs and flip kicks again, and...
I missed the bike kick, man.
Yeah, the bike kick, too. And I thought the bike kick was weird and didn't fit her right when it first showed up. I was like, why is she ripping off Liu Kang's shtick? But now I kind of miss it. Like, there is no permanency with Sonya.
No. That's the
So,
problem.
That's why I kind of like Cassie in this game, and she reminds me of the things I used to like about Sonya before the character became something I didn't want to have anything to do with anymore.
Yeah, she's got the best parts of Sonya mixed with the best parts of Johnny and then her own like it's like three pieces of a pie or whatever, and her own what she's bringing to the table with the drone, and because it's not like Sonya's drone or what she had, the little turret or any of that bullshit. I agree that it should have a personality, and I hope they do go that route. Why wouldn't you? It's like that little thing that's flying around in Flubber. Like, it's got to have its own personality. It's got to project things. She's got to talk to it. And the fact that it flies over and then she kind of like rests on it with her cute little face. Like,
I love that so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be played up well. And yeah, I mean, I think she's really good in this game so far.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the drone like actually appears in story mode and doesn't just pop out of thin air when fight is called,
Yeah.
Because we didn't see the drone at all in the story trailer.
We didn't see Sub-Zero either.
yeah, I think I know where Sub-Zero is.
He died. But that was about it.
Well, yeah,
that would track
was-
the way NRS treats him.
The drone has a scar.
that That was literally it. There was a meeting, and they're like, okay, so in story mode, we put this part in where Sub-Zero and then Ed comes into the room. Make sure you stab him in the face.
I just think we're in for another, and this is, I mean, it is what it is, but I think we're in for another game with the special forces at the forefront.
Well, here's the thing. Polygon, I think it was, had an article about they had played the first chapter. And the first chapter is all about the Special Forces attack on Lu's palace. So apparently most of that stuff that we saw in the story trailer gets out of the way early. I also, while we're on the subject of Cassie, I just want to say, like, in terms of her taking her her parents' parts and starting to make them her own, I really like that her gun shoots green energy now. Like, her powers are channeled through her weapon.
There's just no shortage of ways to channel that green glow now, is there? It's neat.
It's
yeah. Just saying. As far as the drone having a personality goes, I kind of hope it's actually really kind of angry and vulgar and hates everyone. It's already slamming into people's groins.
It laser targets the nuts.
It does. So I hope it's like flipping people off left and right with little fire. Anyway. As far as like the special forces being the main guys in this game go, I don't know, because like we've already seen Liu Kang giving a beatdown to his older, more corrupted self, and like we have like that little scene where like Scorpion's tossing the spear, and like Kung Lao and Liu Kang are looking at it like Aru. So I think there's going to be a nice shared bit of spotlight this time.
I'm not sure if the Polygon article. Since they only played Chapter 1, it's possible that whatever this is isn't what it looks like, but they said that at the end of the chapter where, and you can see this in story mode, where Lu's palace, like, explodes, like they rigged it to blow up.
Right.
They said that Sonya's still inside when it blows up.
Oh. I mean, there is the intro, not to spoil anybody, but I mean, it's in the intros that Cassie specifically blames Raiden for causing them to lose Mom. So, I mean, take of that for what you will.
Yeah, so it looks like at least present Sonya dies early, and then we'll still have, like, young Sonya throughout the game, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of Special Forces focus, I think that's going to help there be less.
I thought that wouldn't, because the story trailer starts with the exploded tower reassembling in reverse. So I thought that would have revived Sonya, but maybe not. I don't know.
Who knows where that's from, though? That could be like the end of the story for all we know.
I mean, it could just be that Sonya's captured and not killed. We don't know. That's why I sort of preface this by saying that I don't know that Polygon has all the details. It looks like Sonya dies in the beginning of the game.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is going to be one of those cases where there's just split focus on a lot of characters. Sub-Zero's going to be doing his own thing. So Scorpion, so the Special Forces, and maybe Raiden there. And I kind of feel like towards the end of story mode, it's all going to come together. This is a scenario of branching paths merging and like a kind of allying to take on a threat. That's what this feels like to me.
My prediction, I want that to be true, but my prediction is the start of it is going to set up the Special Forces to be the central focus for the rest of it, and you'll have some Shaolin monks play in there as well, but I feel like characters like Sub-Zero, I think he's going to be at a tea party again. Like, he's going to be doing something very minor for like maybe one chapter, and that's it. So hopefully you're right and I'm wrong.
I feel like...
I hope.
I mean... The story trailer is only like 3 minutes or something like that, so they can easily have pulled footage and not shown us most of the game, but it looked to me like there was a lot of Raiden content and quite a bit of like Liu Kang and Kung Lao content. I'm really not that worried about the Special Forces focus. I think Sub-Zero might be screwed just because they seem to have a problem with giving Sub-Zero screen time for some reason.
I don't know, man. I don't want to get too far into it, but we know some roster choices for this game There's gonna be, there's got to be Sub-Zero focus. I can't see there not being. With like, some people who are family members and stuff.
Here's where I'm coming from with it, though. It wasn't just really the task force. I see it as, okay, so let's just presume Sonya dies there at the beginning in the explosion. I think that's going to set up past Johnny and current Johnny to work together, which we saw a lot of in the trailer. There's a lot of gunplay, a lot of breaking into bases, breaking into the Black Dragon hideout or whatever, a fight with Kano in Russia. Like, that's where I'm coming from.
There was an entire section that was just people shooting guns at each other.
Yeah, and I think when I think of that, I think Special Forces. I feel like a lot of, I don't know, it may not be MKX levels where it's like literally just following them along the entire time. I think it's going to be at least 50% of story mode is going to be dedicated just following those characters. But could be wrong. And like I said, I hope I am, just because I'm not like even against those characters. I'd like to see more Cassie development. I'd like to see more Jackie development. I'd like to see these characters still get some limelight. It's just I don't want it to be to that degree where it's like they're the Wolverine in an X-Men movie and all the other characters are having to play bit parts to their whatever they're doing. So I just there should be enough room for everybody. So hopefully we do get like a Sub-Zero and other characters represented. I hope like the Collector and those types of characters aren't just relegated to background henchmen. I hope he's actually there to play a major role, not just a heavy, I guess, or just a guy. Like a Ferritor or an Aaron Black in the original, or in MKX, I should say.
I think that the notion of grunts is something that I've just kind of made myself get used to, you know? Not everyone can be an A-lister, as much as I wish that were the case. There's always going to be people who have got to fill that role.
I mean, there is a sustained problem with the story mode era. Characters who used to be neutral are forced to one side or the other, like Sektor and Cyrax in 9.
Oh god, I saw a rumor or a leak, even though I don't believe it and I think it's bullshit, of what Sektor and Cyrax are going to do in the story, and I gotta say I will shit all over it if that is the case. But
I'm curious.
I'll say it because I mean it's so minor that it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna spoil anything, even if it does happen. But
okay, you know what? I'm gonna take off my headphones right now. Pay me in the chat once you're done talking. I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna go into this shit blind.
You're okay. That's fine.
And going.
Supposedly they work with Kano.
Ew.
Exactly, and we can move on. There's really nothing to discuss there.
I mean, that could be done. Like a thing where, like, since they're both being pulled from MK3, they just happen to be in a group.
I'm just hoping that's not the case, but I mean that would be one of my least favorite things that they could be doing. Like, I'll take Oil Sign Part 2 over just like...
Oil harder.
Anyways, but yeah, we don't really need to talk about it too much because it's probably bullshit anyways. It's just random shit that you see online.
Yeah, I highly doubt any. I saw that leak and I don't think any of it sounds legit.
Okay.
So clearly you just said that Sektor and Cyrax both have an amazing role and are actually surprise characters, and they get 3 full chapters to themselves each. Wonderful. Perfect. Cut. Print. That's a wrap.
Honestly, yeah, I find it hard to believe that Sektor and Cyrax will appear.
Me too. I really don't think they are either. But
look, so among the things that would surprise me, they've already got Shao Kahn in there. The next thing that I'm like 90% expecting not to happen that would blow me away is if there were NPCs again. At all.
Okay, like, you know what? I heard someone... I saw someone post something up in our Discord that someone is voicing Smoke. That's enough for me. I know he's going to be around. Cool.
It was the same guy who did Cage in MKX, right?
Andrew
might have been. I don't remember the guy. I'm bad with voice actor names in like video games.
Yeah, it's Andrew Bowen is Johnny's voice actor.
Okay.
Well,
okay, yeah.
I can figure this out pretty.
Speaking of Johnny.
Yeah, he's Rain and Smoke too.
Can we just take another minute to just appreciate the fuck out of Johnny in the story trailer?
He's
easily... fucking googling it. He's looking at his own fucking IMDb page.
Not just that, dude. Like in one of his round animations, he backs up like away from his opponent to get some distance, and all of a sudden he runs the back of his head hits a boom mic that's hanging too low, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like it's just a boom mic in the actual game.
No, and he says, you flock of fucks."
It's just great. Oh yeah, and another one he just says, "Fuck you," and then another one he's like, "Hey, did you drop this?" He's like searching around, and then he all of a sudden he flips him off.
How do we not all main Johnny in this game?
I know.
Why is there not a national Johnny Cage Day of Celebration? He's ascended to this level of character where you can't fuck him up. It's so good.
I'm hoping his arcade
this game.
What's up?
We had a question in the chat. What character do we think will benefit the most in story mode? And my answer is always Johnny. Every single game he's in, it's gonna be Johnny. It doesn't matter how big or small his part is.
You know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling that like we've already reached peak Cage, and like he's always gonna do well. But I think that this is gonna be a game where Liu Kang and Kung Lao shine.
I'm hoping.
I think you're gonna walk away pretty goddamn happy.
But I still think that for the majority of the audience, the most memorable character is always going to be Johnny, just because he gets the Deadpool dialogue. You know, he's the funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it. I mean, that's one reason why Cassie looking good is such a big deal, because if they do the Special Forces emphasis, if Cassie's better, then you're already way ahead of the game when it comes to MKX, right? And I don't know. I feel like they went in with a better plan with the Cage family this time. They made Sonya about mix-ups, they made Cage about pressure, and they made Cassie the soft zoner. Although I say soft zoner only because 16-bit calls her a jack of all trades. I don't think she's actually a soft zoner, as she has a very fast low shot.
Oh yeah,
which I'm pretty sure you can't block mid. She has pretty good damage over time that she can activate in her block strings. I think you might be able to make that safe. I don't know. The drone looks questionable and neutral, but if she gets a knockdown, and that's even just remotely good, that's a pretty good fucking zoning tool. Not to mention, it looks like her low shot can combo in the corner on Vanilla. So anyway, but I think the fact that they gave her so much more personality, also she just looks better. That was one of my biggest problems with Cassie and MKX. She looked like Justin Bieber, and now she actually looks like the daughter of Sonya to me. She just looked awkward in the last game.
Yeah, I felt like with her hair in the last game, they were going for like a punk or a side cut look, and they chickened out and went halfway with where the shaved part starts. Like they just couldn't commit to either punk or regular, and so what we got is this weird haircut that doesn't exist.
And she's also just, her personality just felt very rigid to me. I know there was humor in there, but the humor just felt, I don't know, it just... If you watch her in the actual story mode, she just feels very rigid. She acts like Sonya.
There's a thing with both her and Jackie where, like, when they have an extended dialogue spot, they're the Leonardos. But in all their, like, mid-fight quotes and intros and stuff, they're the Michelangelo. And it's kind of...
They do feel like separate characters disassociated from the versions of themselves in story mode.
Yeah.
It's like business while at work, party in the pants, you know? It's trying to get badly, but like, I don't know. I'm still kind of feeling a little bit of that, you know? She's doing like the dab thing already in fights, and she's like she's still popping the bubble gum. I don't dislike her, but I worry that she might come across as try hard again. So I'll see.
So far, so good, at least. I mean, the biggest difference is when Cassie was supposed to be funny in MKX, it just felt like she was talking shit. In this game, her intros feel like she has a genuinely humorous personality, and it feels so much more natural.
I think
in MKX, she came off as kind of a bitch, honestly.
It's difficult to judge because her personality and sense of humor is supposed to be Gen Z, and we are not. So it's like, yes, that is what teenagers look like to me. They are bitchy and try hard.
Yeah, but there was like a callous apathy that just didn't gel with the humor in MKX.
I mean, I also feel
hipster.
like part of that is an ongoing problem they have with writing people who do fatalities, but are pacifists in the story.
Gotta love how
Well, I've
Kung
always
Lao
felt
drags
that with
these
Kung Lao.
nuts over a hat.
Yeah.
Ah, well-trained,
Well,
disciplined
Kung Lao.
Shaolin monks.
Because they've got intros where, like... Okay, I don't really believe that Bo Raicho would call a xenomorph an ugly... Or a predator an ugly motherfucker.
Man, he's drunk. He'll say whatever he wants.
I don't know that they use the F word in Outworld. I don't know if they have that modern pop culture language.
It's
Okay.
picking up. I think it's making its way.
And also, like, there's an intro between Liu Kang and Kung Lao where they argue about which martial art is best, and then Liu just calls Kung Lao an asshole.
See, I love that stuff. And you know what?
It's funny, but it's out of character.
They've got to have some personality, you know? It can't all be, I am a Shaolin monk, so, like, my entire life is training and doing nothing else. That's boring. And I believe that- I believe
it's a
that-
fine line to walk.
If Geras is intimately familiar with Blade Runner, and he thinks, which is one of the best fucking bits of dialogue I've ever seen out of the studio. Oh my god, I was dying and crying at work when I
I
saw
haven't
that.
seen that. I haven't
Technically,
seen that yet.
Johnny's the one who's quoting Blade Runner. Geras just kind of set him up for it.
Well, Geras responds. He could be okay. For Tam, since you haven't seen it, what happens is Geras says, "I have seen things you would not believe," and you know, so Johnny chimes in, like, you know, attack ships on fire, like sea beams, and Geras goes, "Time to die." So he could either be acknowledging the Blade Runner reference or just threatening Johnny's life. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, okay.
He knows, but he also knows who Ronald Reagan is, so I'm inclined to believe he's an expert on all of Earth's history, and he's seen literally
There's also an intro where he compares Cassie to Joan of Arc, so he's just kind of a world history buff.
world historian, yeah.
Because
Who has apparently watched a lot of movies.
He's totally Zasalamel. He is 100% Zasalamel.
Image of him, like, sitting in a room with 30 separate TV screens, all of them displaying
like-
different movies at once. and
All
watching
he's
them
missing
all.
is one gold eye and a scythe.
Which is ironic.
Geras
I love
rocks, he
Zasalamel.
does.
I don't love Geras, but I do like Zasalamel.
I like Geras. I think he's kind of fun. I'm probably not going to play him because he's... Well,
I think he
might
just
depend
won
on
me
whether or
over.
not Jax is in the game.
All it took with that dialogue was for that dialogue for Geras to win me over. I wasn't convinced. Now I am. I think I kind of love the guy.
But
I look forward to see what else he's got.
I do have a spot open for a grappler, so it might go to Jax or Kano, but Geras is, on the short list.
He was fun when I used him at the reveal. Never know. So is anything else? There's a lot of parries in this game, isn't there?
There is. I like it.
Kano's got a parry, Jade's kind of got a parry. I mean,
I like playing characters who parry.
are there people who should not have parries? Is that a thing?
I
Who's
feel like
definitely gonna have a
everybody
parry?
should have a parry. I think Street Fighter 3 had a good idea.
Smoke's got one. If we'll ever see that again, who knows? But no, it would be a. I don't think I'd complain as a universal mechanic. Just like anything else.
Well, that might be one of my biggest complaints about MK11 right now. Well, my second biggest. Maybe my third biggest. I still am worried about the execution, but that is just a giant we'll see situation. But there's a lot of check moves in this game. There's a lot of it's the parry's one of them. Like, man, can we tone down the guessing games a bit? But the other one are the jump fake outs. I wish Kano had gotten his up ball and not his air ball. I hate the whole jumping guessing game of like, all right, they jump. Do I anti-air or do I bait out an air ball? Or do I bait out Cabal's spin blade? Or do I bait out, another type, whatever projectile? There's just a lot of shit in this game like that. And all I feel like that does is just stack a bunch of uninteresting guessing games. So I feel like there should have been maybe like 2 or 3 characters with parries max, but I mean, we'll see. That might be one thing about the game that is kind of gnawing at me that I wish I saw less of.
I don't think a parry is so much of a guessing thing. How many things parry low?
It depends on the
They're
gaps.
pretty much all punishable if you just go for a low attack, aren't they? Or a projectile?
Well, Sonya was able to interrupt some gaps with her normal strings. So I'm thinking if you can do a string there, I'm guessing you could do a parry as well. I don't know. I'd rather the gap interruptions be relegated to flawless block, but we'll see. God, just a lot of parries though. Just a lot of parries in this game. I don't think any one mechanic should be that common.
It kind of really feels like they're.
Oh damn! R.I.P.
Goodbye, Chinese Ninja Warrior. One of many.
Dude. The 90210 theme song was legit. He was in that, right?
He was.
Yeah.
That was his big break.
Dude, that guitar lead, fuck, that's a good theme song.
This is a weird subject change. We kind of had no transition into that.
There's a lot of
But yeah.
parries.
It was a good route. I like it. Well done.
I guess it's just more of a tonal change, I may.
But seriously, it does kind of feel like they're trying to angle for giving any player the option to make anyone the way they want to play them. Which is kind of neat, I think. Maybe I can actually make myself like a zoning Johnny Cage. Who knows?
I mean, one of the things about their whole the variation system and now this where you pick the moves you want to equip, it means you have to come up with a lot more moves. So kind of everybody's going to have the whole toolbox. It's just kind of inevitable. But I mean, for me, who plays Johnny, his X-Ray was a parry in 9, and Lou has had a parry since 9. I like parries.
I mean,
parries can be good. I'm not anti-parry.
No, neither am I. It's odd to see them being thrown around like candy.
I think
you're not complaining.
Block is sort of the parry in this game, though. Or at least
yeah.
I like the idea of getting pressure after a guessing situation gain. I don't know.
Well, I mean, flawless block as a universal mechanic is the thing about like a parry as a special move is you can put a flavor in the animation that's unique to the character that you can't really do with a universal mechanic unless you put a lot of work in.
Yeah, Smokes was the shit in 9. Loved it.
And that was busted, dude. That was so fucking... It was the best get out of jail free card I've ever seen. He had so many get out of... He didn't have any armor, but man, that EX smoke away, fucking, that was just the biggest get out of jail card. And just like, if you didn't know what to do and your opponent was being over aggressive, there was no reason not to do the smoke parry if you had the life lead. It would just... God, it was such a good tool. I'm glad it's gone, but man, I miss it.
Admit it. You want it back. So do I. I want everything back.
The regular version, maybe, but not the EX version. The EX version was dumb. It literally parried everything.
Just give me back Smoke Away and Smoke Forward, and I'm good to go. I used to love like messing with people with that when I was in the corner, because you see the smoke animation, and your automatic assumption is that they're going to go behind. But I would Smoke Away further back, because it would still look like you were doing it forward, because the startup animation was exactly the same. So I got so many fucking lucky breaks using it that way. Messed people up left and right. He needs to be back.
Things about Smoke, because you can kind of play him any way you want in MK9. Some players, they literally just did Smoke Away to build meter, and you couldn't zone him because of the meterless parry. So he would just Smoke Away. When you got in, he would try to do a standing 2 anti-air, or he would dash in down 4 and go for a back 2 mix-up. It was that is a very legitimate way to play Smoke, and he won all trades because of Smoke Ball. You can, but then again, if you wanted to play more pressure, rush down Smoke, you absolutely could. He had the Smoke Trap, or the Bomb Trap, where if you do a down 1 and cancel into Smoke Bomb, if they try to counter pick or counter hit, you get a free Smoke Ball, and that went into a combo. But because if the opponent knew that, you could just do like 4 down 1s in a row, like down 1, dash, down 1, dash, down 1, dash. And they were just scared to press anything until you finally wear them. And if they tried to jump out instead of counter poke, you caught them with a down 1. You can convert into an air smoke ball. Or I guess you can convert to a ground smoke ball while they're in the air. So, God, Smoke was so interesting in that game. I miss him.
Stop. I can only get so erect.
Yeah.
Just
I think
thinking about.
I
the
think
good
what
times.
we're really getting at here is, hey NRS, where the fuck is Smoke?
Miss him? I just don't.
Get it
That's
out of my system.
It's the worst part about this game is don't worry, you might see them in 4 years, and I'm like, I don't want to wait.
This is a bad way to go down, man.
Okay,
We've
yeah,
already been
we're
down that
quitting.
road. Let's just.
That is very true.
Okay,
It's just no goodness comes from that.
all right, all right. Back on topic. Fresh things. Shake off the smoke and the missing cyber ninjas. How are we feeling about like Cassie and Jackie having these GI Joe sci-fi costumes? Because I'm kind of not feeling it. Razor, you said before that like you.
No, I love
Like
them.
that-
This is exactly what I think the characters need, is to look like fictional characters. I think
Okay.
that real world army look they were going for last game, it just kills personality.
I
See,
agree with that. I like with I like Cassie's base outfit, and I also like her with the jacket. I'm not really feeling the giant neck brace, but that's about it.
Yeah, the heavy Mass Effect armor that looks like it's everything but a
That's-
helmet. That's not great.
I'm kind of really hoping that Jackie has a lot of gear options that are as far away from that and more into like casual wear as is possible, because that's what I want out of both of them. Uniqueness.
Supposedly, Jackie. Well, this is according to who said that on Twitter. One of the NRS guys. I think Saeed. Is that how you say his name? I can't even remember. Either way, I think it was him, and then I think 16-bit also chimed in, but basically, Danish, I don't know how to say his name, but that dude, and him and 16-bit both said that Jackie has like some of the best other like outfits in the game, not the one that we saw, but she has a couple ones that are his favorite in the entire game, and 16-bit said it almost made him like feel like he had to play her just because of the outfit. So I'm kind of curious what those are. It must be radically different than what we're seeing. So
16-bit's been very strange in this game about that stuff. Like he was so gung-ho about Katana. So to see him say things like I main Jade or I wish I could main Jackie, it's just so foreign to me. His license plate literally says Katana, literally. It's so weird to see him. I guess a lot of it has to do that he's not allowed to talk about Katana. So I don't know. We'll see. It's very surreal to me.
that Katana outfit ain't doing much for me from what we saw in the trailer. But
Agreed. Yeah.
That was just the her like evil Revenant outfits
Yeah.
have always sucked.
I
She looks
actually
like she
like
has-
the Revenant in MKX. I
Yeah.
didn't mind that so much. I think my only issue with this one is the skull hat looks a little odd. Like it just doesn't like it's either got to be on or off. Like it's just it's like
It
people
does.
who
It
put
does
their
kind of look like it's gonna fall off at any moment.
it's
yeah.
like Shao Kahn's skull mask, as if he put him up on his forehead like sunglasses. Like he's like, hold on a second, let me just put this up.
Like-
It's like a visor to her. It's just
Yeah.
really odd. And then the other part that I'm not really digging is the like she just has a lot. Like she has like layers upon layers upon layers on her, and I'm not like anybody that
It's-
needs a bunch of skin showing. It just doesn't look like it just doesn't look
it's too busy.
necessary. It's just too many
She-
layers.
She looks like she's over-designed in an MK9 Scorpion kind of way, and the skull mask kind of looks like a golf hat visor, and like the lower part of her mask looks like a beak, like the reptile MK9
Yeah.
thing going on.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean,
it's-
I feel like that's the prevailing choice with Revenants, is to just load them up with pointy shit. Just layer upon layer of like edgelord try hard too much clothes.
I mean, Cabal
And so
and
I
Jade
would
in
never
here
play-
actually look pretty good as Revenants.
Agreed.
That was I don't
And
know.
like-
her-
And like
her-
one of the reasons I think that like MKX Kung Lao Revenant version looks so good is because of how fucking goofy and edgy upon edgy the hat is. It looks like
I kind of hate that outfit too.
nah, man, I'm in love with it. Like the long nails, he looks so like creepy otherworld, like Legion of Doom or Legion of Evil alternate version of himself. I
Who are we
feel
talking
like
about?
Kung Lao, MKX
Oh,
Revenant
Oh
Kung
no,
Lao.
yeah, Kung Lao it worked for because it's so silly to see him like that try hard. Like it
that's
doesn't fit
exactly
his character at all, and that's what makes it interesting.
That's
Kung Lao
exactly
was
why I
too
loved
bald
it.
as Revenant. I didn't like it.
It was like everything that the character was not, and that's how you do an evil doppelganger.
I
That's
like
why I think I loved
if you pick the variation that makes his clothing glow, it's the scary face molded onto his breastplate is the glowing part.
Yeah.
It just looks so ridiculous.
How did I not main Revenant
that was-
Kulao in X?
But
my
yeah, in
variation,
general,
too.
I never ever use Revenant skins. I just didn't in X, and I don't see it happening in this one.
I'll probably
So-
use Jade if there's no classic costume. I think Revenant Jade looks really good.
I think
Oh, there's gonna be
I think
one.
you're gonna find you can get that outfit, but with regular skin, though. You know.
Maybe, yeah.
I would play Revenant UMK3 Jade.
I would
That sounds
love a
cool.
UMK2 Jade too. I think a UMK2 Jade would look real. Well,
I
that
don't
didn't make
know,
any sense. That's not a thing. Mortal Kombat 2 Jade would look really good. Yes. Go on.
I don't like Jade with gray skin. It just.
I don't mind it
It's-
as like an option. I mean, it's just one of the things.
I think it's the way it plays off the green, because her green is always kind of a pale bluish green. It's a little too monochromatic for me.
I can see that. And I think it would probably help if her staff were still purple.
Yeah, that bugs me. Like, I wish the staff and the glaive could have a purple glow, and maybe there's gear for that.
It's irrational and dumb of me, I know, because the glaive just fits her so much better than, like, gold fans did, but I kind of want the option to give her gold fans for some stupid reason. I'm just, time's long by. I don't know.
But yeah,
I also want
like,
to control
I'm not-
MK2 Jade.
People are saying that Katana looks fat in the trailer.
Yeah! like,
Somebody
there's-
edited a screenshot of that to like stretch her out and make her fat.
Well, that was a response to the fat stuff. People were saying it before, and I agree. I don't see it. I honestly don't see it.
I
mean,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. And if even if she's like a little chubby, who gives a shit? Like,
I mean, here's my main argument though about the Katana thing is who cares about the Revenant skin? We have already seen her human one and it looks great.
yeah, I agree with the menu art. Skin looks great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite skins we've seen in the game, period, so far.
Bring on Fatana. A double dog dare you, NRS.
I prefer Katana.
Make Katana fat. Katana fat.
That's a
Okay.
tricky choice.
But
What are we
yeah,
missing?
We saw a couple
There's gotta be more
fatalities too.
stuff.
We saw Cassie's,
Yes, we did.
We saw both of Cassie's. We saw Raiden's second, and we saw Kano's.
One-
And Kano's one that we saw. I'll start off negative just because his is the one that I liked least. And Kano's, he just bashes. He does a tackle, which I like that part. Like, this is how I imagine it went down during the meeting, because I guess they have fatality meetings, as we know, and they've been to their credit, they've been making a lot of awesome ones that I really think are some of the best that we've seen in a long time. But this Kano one, he tackles him, then headbutts him, and then headbutts him, and then headbutts him, and then headbutts him, I think a fourth or fifth time, and then their head just explodes from the headbutt.
I actually
done
really
better.
like that.
I think they've done better.
It's just so not creative. And the head exploding, I think, is the worst part. Like, if he just headbutted it to mush, I think I'd like it a little bit more, but it's still kind of just dull compared to what he could have done.
I mean, when
Okay,
I think
like-
of things Kano does, headbutts is high on the list, and there's not a lot of headbutt representation in moveset usually.
Like, they have gone out of their way to give him so much with his laser and his knives. So yeah, it is a classic Kano trait that he's never really used to kill someone. But I
Yeah,
feel like it could have been executed a bit better. I think that bothers me the most about
I
it.
think
I don't know,
it's
I-
it could have been included. It's just like that's not a finisher to me. You tackle, you headbutt once just to daze them, then maybe you douse, you pour drink all over them, you pour some alcohol all over them, then you toss the lighter and walk away. Like that to me
it's the thing that I like about it. The idea of being like so single-mindedly devoted to an attack that you do it the same one over and over and over until there's nothing left to do it to.
Please
Now,
stop with
I
his
think it'd be
face.
better. I think it would be better if their face just kind of turned to mush and he just let them drop or shove their head into the ground. to flatten them out. Rubbed it in with his palm a little bit. As it is, A, the fact that their head blows up bugs me a bit, and B, the fact that at one point, you get their point of view of his face, and I'm sorry, but it just really looks like this is what you see when you're having sex with Kano, and it bugs me so much.
Well, it should. If that's the way you're looking at it, it should be the grossest thing in the game.
I need a shower now.
But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Moving on to the other ones.
We're going to get a second one where he does something with his laser eye.
Yeah, it's just a fatality. It doesn't even really matter. We're going... So the next one that we saw was Raiden's, and I guess he creates the little blades out of lightning that he does to decapitate Shinnok. Well, he does that in his fatality. He takes off both of their arms, then cuts them in half, basically, at their stomach. So then it's just a torso that he's holding up by the head with the electricity, and then blows the head up. Once again, I don't know. It's just one of those, why take off their arms, then why take off their legs, and then their head? I don't know. It's weird.
The thing is, Raiden never has good fatalities. Why start now?
Kind of struggling with them ever since MK2, I feel.
The only Raiden fatality I've ever really loved was his Super Nintendo censored one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Stick to turning people to dust. That's all lightning needs to do. And honestly, the Dark Raiden's lightning swords power, I don't like it, and I think they are way overusing it.
Let's take this guy that has electricity as a power and let him use swords. It is really odd.
There's just so much you can do with a staff and electricity and that staff, and he is channeling pure power and the power of the gods, and he's just using it in weird ways to dismember people. My favorite Raiden fatality of all time, I think, remains the MK2 uppercut, because he just punches you so hard you do completely explode, and in that case, I don't have a problem with it, because that is something that the power of the gods should do.
Yeah.
I'd like a fatality of his that's kind of reminiscent to, I think, his MK vs. DC one, where he does a kamikaze, or maybe that was a deception one. I'm getting them mixed up, or maybe both. I would like him to teleport, so he does, but the old school teleport, where it works its way down to the ground from his head. So he disappears into electricity, and then you see that electricity travel across the ground. You can even do a cool camera shot for that. And then it starts at the opponent's feet, and it just starts building up as they're getting stuck to the ground, and they can't move because they're being paralyzed by the electricity that's working its way up their body. And then all of a sudden, the person explodes, and then there's Raiden standing there with his head down, and then he just kind of pops it up with an evil grin. To me, that's tight.
Dude, Temp, can I get it? That would be sick.
That would be sick. I'd be down.
Thank you.
I feel like I want something really simple from a Raiden fatality. What if he just disappears, and then the camera cuts to the sky as storm clouds collect up in the sky, and then the guy just gets struck by 3 bolts of lightning, and that's it.
You know what?
The third one leaves them a blackened body, and they fall over dead.
That'd be cool. But we were talking about representation of special moves about Kano, and to my knowledge, I don't feel like he's ever maybe teleport uppercutted someone, or teleport suplexed someone, or I don't think he's used as Superman in a fatality ever, which is weird.
I don't think he has.
Out of all possible things, he's got a fair bit to work with, so I kind of wonder why the hell not.
It would be cool if Kano knocked your head off, and then he did an up ball and headbutted it in the middle of the air. That'd be kind of cool.
For real.
Then we had the 2 Cassie ones. So her first one that we saw was she charges up a shadow kick, and then blasts through her opponent's heart, basically kicking their heart out through their chest, and then she bends down and then punches through both sides of their abdomen, or their torso or whatever, so that her hands meet in the hole that's there, and then she forms the little heart symbol and does a little cute face. And I thought that was really cool. I like that.
They're both really good in my opinion.
Yes.
I like.
Yeah,
them both.
I actually really like both of Cassie's.
Yeah, I agree.
right.
They're some of the better ones in the game. Easily top 5 that we've seen, I think.
All right.
Go ahead.
I love the heart fatality, and like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but like the first thing I thought of when I saw the whole heart fatality, apart from, man, it is really cool to see Johnny's SNES MK1 Shadow Kick fatality get some love.
I
The
thought
second
that too.
Yeah. The second thing I thought was, wow, she's really pretty in this game.
Yeah, her face is easily the best one, I think, in the game thus far.
Such
Yeah,
a nice
she's
smile.
The most attractive one in the game, bar none, in my opinion.
Save for the collector, of course.
I mean, we
yeah, well,
haven't
of course.
seen a lot of
That goes
female
without saying.
characters yet.
He blushes.
So I'm the only one who's sexually attracted to Baraka then? He's so metal.
I don't
He's
think
just
they're
so
the
metal,
only one.
guys.
I'm sure there's like
I
a
think-
Facebook group for that.
I don't think you're the only one, but you're certainly waving the flag.
I'm just saying, if you,
Excellent
Oh,
flag
fuck.
variation.
have you ever gone to a miniature golf course with the windmill that you got to get the ball in there before it closes in? That's what you like. That's what it's gonna be like with Baraka. But,
Okay, no. Okay.
Then her second fatality, which is just as good, if not better. I liked both a lot, and I think we're all in the same boat, liking both of them quite a lot. So she just starts running at her opponent, just shooting a line up about their abdomen up through their face, and just shooting with her guns. And as she's shooting, she runs up and then kicks them right in the balls, which splits that part open, like their torso and their head open in half, leaving those. It makes
Yeah.
their spine and their skull jump out. It's fucking perfect.
It's like the quickest fatality there is in the
I
game.
love
It
it.
looks like.
Yeah,
Like,
it is
It's over very quick, and just the force of that fucking field goal kick to the nut.
All right.
That was great.
I don't want to be the dissenting voice, and I very rarely am, but I appreciate it, but something about it just bugs me. It's like, it's the MK3-ness of it. I want to like it, I like what they're going for, but something about, like, the skull and the spine just boop, going all the way up.
That's the best
See,
part.
I get it, because she's kicking them in the tailbone, you see.
Yeah.
See, okay.
I mean, I empathize. I don't agree, but I get where you're coming from. I've
I-
always hated the Deadly Alliance Sub-Zero fatality where it rips your skeleton out.
Yeah, that one was bad.
Yeah, like, yet it, like, that's, I think, what bugs me about it. It's like the wrongness of the way the skull and the spine are coming out. I felt the same about Sub-Zero's MKDA fatality. I think that's it. But
I guess, like, if I
this
rip your
one-
body off your head, it doesn't make any sense.
This
I
one
get-
has
I
a
get
bit more
where it's-
believability to it than the
Yeah.
your whole skeleton out.
Like, I
there's
get where
definitely been-
people are coming from because you're not the first to compare it to an MK3 finisher. But it's definitely not in the So
Oh,
there's
no.
like a box where certain MK3 finishers go, the ones that I think of most, where they represent a power that the character could never actually have. Like Jax growing big, Liu Kang summoning his own video game from the sky.
It's still one of my favorites of all time.
Like, this is within the realm of not breaking the fourth wall possibility.
That's fair. That's very fair. And you know what? The kick to the balls is very much a Cassie thing. Blends in very well with the rapid gunshots. In a way, it's kind of one of the best examples of her bringing a little bit of each of her parents to the table to finish someone off, and I appreciate that.
I just like
And
the
there's been
surprise
far
factor.
worse.
Like, I don't think any of us that were watching that expected that. Like, it's just, it was the only thing that made us all legitimately bust out laughing out loud, just pure joy and happiness with the way that was shot and created. I don't know. It was good. I think that's one that's
Alright.
going to, and its quickness, I think that's one that if I saw online several times, I don't think it would ever bother me. I think it's just quick to the point and it's always a good laugh.
That's fair.
I actually think that fatality might be over faster than a win pose.
It's possible.
Which is good. Which is really good. You don't want to drag them out too much.
Speaking of win pose, so Johnny Cage had the toy win pose that we saw last time and we talked about last time. Well, now I guess he also has a like a brutality win pose where he takes the toy and like makes it look like it's sitting on his hand. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's
We
cool.
also, we've also saw in I forget what site. I think this was also Polygon, but they had a little video going through Johnny, Cassie, and Kano's gear.
Yep.
And we saw Johnny has a second equipable win pose where he does the kissing and waving with his hands and then the classic crossing his arms from MK2.
That gave me the warm and fuzzies. Oh god, as good as the action figure is, just seeing that felt like coming home again.
Man, I hope every character has an unlockable win pose that's from the old games.
I think we're gonna get a lot of that. It's gonna be neat.
I do miss the Sub-Zero fist in the air quite a bit.
Seeing these kind of things just makes me go, God, why can't we get the whole fucking UMK3 roster back? I know that's dumb, I know that's selfish, but I think one of the things that logically bugs any player about not seeing their main back in a new game is just all the cool shit everyone else is doing and imagining what it would be like with yours who's not there. This is not me complaining, it's just that, Christ, how cool would it be if everyone could have these options for all their favorite characters? Man.
Just stop bringing it up.
I will take a plane southwards and we'll go drinking together. I mean that.
I'm just saying, I don't think Cyrax will. See, you're hooking me into.
We can all grieve together.
I don't know what hurts more, that some of the characters I really, really wanted aren't making it, or that the character I put number 1 on my wish list might end up not being good. I don't know what hurts worse.
I regret so much every night putting Shao Kahn on my wish list. Not a day goes by I don't regret putting him on my wish list.
I put a couple that I would have changed to. I think I put Katana on there. I put Pennywise, for God's sakes, and I put Havoc on there. And I don't really care about any of those 3. If I could go back, I would change it. I'd put not that it matters. It's not like they legitimately took our wish list and like, all right, here we go. You put that there, and we'll make sure he gets that. It's like, oh, if I chose salad, damn it.
I know, but I feel like I just assassinated my own court case. Because if I went to NetherRealm Studios to complain, the boons would be like, but we gave you Shao Kahn. Wasn't it on your list? Fuck yourself.
The boons. Like, Ed is there, and then Mike is just right next to him at all times.
Mike comes out of Ed like a shadow clone.
It makes sense. Story checks out.
I think of Ed now. I think of that video that we linked a little while back, that was linked on our Discord a little while back, where John Tobias is like doing a tour of the studio, and like he just pushes open a door, and Ed is already looking at the camera and smiling stiffly. Looks like he's out of hell. That's my favorite Ed image ever. Okay. So we got, what else we got? Is there any more shit?
Other than just like some various outfits and intro dialogue. The intro dialogue between Cage and himself is obviously the best. There's a cute one where Cassie imitates Scorpion's "Get Over Here."
Oh, people love that one so much. It was wonderful.
I mean, if you like the intros in X, especially for Johnny and Cassie, it's the same standard of quality as being upheld, which I'm glad for.
There were 2 that were very strong. One was the Bill and Ted reference. I loved that one. The other one was the Matrix reference. That was really, really smart.
That cheap beer is my dad. Oh my god. And like, the fact that Scorpion is protective of his trademark. Can I say it? Only if you wish to suffer.
I would have liked it better if it was like, only once. Like, that would have been better to me, but they both work, I guess.
And Johnny Cage just flat out calls the medallion that Raiden had in MK9 a MacGuffin. Like, he's just...
I love how the game itself is referencing the fact that the damn thing keeps disappearing from the plot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everything Johnny's doing in this game, like they said on the Combat Cast, if they were going to break the 4th wall with that fatality, they were just going to shatter the 4th wall. They didn't want to just do it a little bit. So it seems like that's like with the boom mic in his round victory or whatever, his round animation, just the boom mic hanging down. Like, this is all just a movie he's in. I think is great. So I think they're just going all the way with him, and I think he's going to be easily the most entertaining out of all the characters, just for a humor standpoint. Even his damn gear screen, he has it where he does his little head nod down to his hand, and then the camera pans down to his hand. It's doing the game thing where it's like fucking getting you to look at his hand, and then it goes back up to his face, and he's just smiling like a dick. Like, and I guess he's got a couple more that are secret that they haven't revealed yet.
Yeah, I noticed that when you're in his gear menu and you're changing the sunglasses, he does this little thing where he puts them on and then does like jazz hands.
Oh yeah, in Unruly's gameplay that he captured with Max, he showed Cage, like during when you select Cage on the select screen, he's just like, while the other person's doing their thing and trying to select their character, Cage is just like posing for snapshots. So like all these camera flashes are happening on him, and he's like doing all these different poses. And now when you're selecting the stage, the characters are still there. Like during that little silhouette fight, it still showed the characters, and Cage was still doing like more poses and stuff. Just it's all good.
I haven't seen a lot of that yet. I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
God, they're all oozing so much personality and flair.
Oh yeah, and there's the little shout outs to the 3D era characters. We have Mocap Mocha. We have
Oh
Sue
my-
How
yeah!
Watches. Yeah.
Like 2 references to mocap.
What
the
this tells
fuck?
us is that Cyrax is just as important as Mocap as a Sue How.
Come on,
they all
man.
get a
Come
company named after them.
Come on, if they're holding them back, there's got to be something coming.
Yeah.
I'll hope it's not lost.
Maybe.
I'll hope it's not lost. BC's feeling a little bit anti-hype, and I understand where he's coming from.
I think we all are a little bit, but the good news is that the game looks good. Like
I just want a main. That's all. I'm just looking for that character. There's a lot to love here. Like the game itself, I have nothing but like positives to say for the most part. I think just across the board, they've given us so much of what we asked for and then some in ways that we didn't think they would. Between the story direction they're taking, the colors, the visuals, the style of the game, the characters just are oozing with personality, the roster choices. While they're leaving some of our favorites out, they are delivering on a lot of them that people have really asked for. So, I mean, can't complain there. It's like you said earlier, you see something that's so good and you just want your guy to make the cut because you want to see him get the same treatment. You want him to get all the new specials, the gear pieces, the oozing of intro dialogue, the arcade ending, all the good shit, and the new designs and everything.
Beyond like just your guide, it's like I want to see what this would be like for people I don't even care that much for. If this was a 78 character game, I wouldn't complain much. Is that a little bit too much to ask? I think it is.
I think there's a healthy amount. I'm hoping let's just say out of the 12 DLC that we're likely getting, 8 of it is likely going to be MK characters, 4 of them guests. So of the 8 characters that are MK characters, I just hope we don't have any like wasted slots. I want them all, and wasted is obviously subjective depending on who you're asking, but I really hope they make them all count. And doesn't mean that everyone has to be like an A tier fan requested character, but I mean, we've heard some rumors of who is likely for Pack 1 just based on leaks and stuff like that, and then there's rumor names, like even less likely, but some rumor names thrown around for Pack 2, a couple of them. And if those are true, I can't really complain, but still ain't the big 2 that we're hoping for between Cyrax and Smoke. So
look, they know that we know this stuff, and I kind of feel like maybe that they know that we know that now we know they can fuck with those expectations. Nothing's off the table. And you know what? Because everyone's so awesome now, the good news is I'm even more anti-guest than I have ever been. Holy shit. I don't want none of you fuckers getting your goddamn casual Terminator or Spider Spawn or whoever the fuck. I want this to be MK territory, baby. Metal as fuck. And speaking of metal, we didn't discuss that fucking new background that we saw, did we? It's all that blood and shit, like the gray skies.
Yeah, there's like an entire wall of dripping with blood, and it was Scorpion versus it was like young Scorpion and old Hanzo fighting each other.
I want to live there. It's that.
Fucking-
Okay, no, I don't.
Elmo.
But it's that fucking cool.
Um,
They
Yeah,
can't do shit wrong this game. It's all so good.
there's some potential really good stages in here too. Beyond, I mean, I've really dug most of the stages we've seen, anyways. But they in the story trailer, which obviously is a good tell of what stages we're getting, just because generally if it's in story, it's going to be a stage. And man, that the one with like the Japanese cherry blossoms when Raiden is walking with, I think, Cassie, and then there's also another one with Kung Lao and Liu Kang when they're walking through that gate and everything. Man, I want that so bad as a stage. It just looks so beautiful as colors that we don't seem to have thus far. A lot of greens, a lot of blues and pinks, and all sorts of good stuff there. Then we also saw the Devora stage, which I'm sure that'll be a thing. That'll be Temp's favorite. I'm just gonna counterpick Temp with fucking eggs and pods in the whole stage. Just kidding. No. That's actually, you know what? If you choose fucking awful gear and you purposely make your guy look like shit, I'm choosing that stage, asshole.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's a healthy compromise. I think we can do
What
that.
is this, like a troll Cold War?
Yeah, we gotta fight fire with fire, man.
Temp,
Yeah,
this is me clapping my hand on your shoulder. I promise you, my Devore will be nothing but bugs and orifices all day long.
Can I get a skin of Devore with just all holes? It's literally just a very thin skin in between each hole.
What the
I'll
fuck
try
is
to
this? What the fuck is this portal with beetles and spiders coming out?
Oh,
That's
God.
Devora.
Ugh.
There's not even any yellow going on.
If y'all want to do like this Highlander competition of who can make the grossest Devora, I mean, I'll play that game.
Yes.
I'll try to make the shittiest like fucking pink Sub-Zeros I can. We'll see how this goes. Every character will be in short shorts.
Oh
Well,
my
no
god,
shorts.
yes.
While you guys are having your fun, I will hold true to my promise that I won't make any pink Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Dude, the red Sub-Zero actually looks really good in my opinion. Not the red and white, but just the red and gold. That looks really good.
I can't do it, man.
Look, man,
Ice has
is
gotta be blue. I'm not playing the game.
it is one thing. It is one thing to create a gigantic bleeding orifice in the fabric of space and time that's crawling with insects and disgustingness and unleashing the Leviathan from Hellraiser and blood and chains and genital piercings attached to foreheads. That's one thing. But you do never do you make a yellow Sub-Zero. You don't fuck with the laws of space and time like that.
It's dividing by zero.
I am triggered.
I mean, somewhere in that mess of words Shad just said is kind of an idea. If they're not going to make the portal a stage anymore, why can't we get a character who is a portal?
Just portal with
I feel
legs.
like that would fit Mortal Kombat.
Just eyes,
so,
googly eyes, legs,
Yeah, I was gonna say
wacky
that.
inflatable arms.
Okay. What else do we got? Do we is everything? Do we want to do some Q&As now or what?
I mean, yeah. If anybody has questions, we'll take a couple. I'm not sure. I haven't really followed along in the question chat. Let's scroll back up. I know there was some at some point. Let's see. Yeah. Which character interactions would you like to see in MK11? That was a missed opportunity in MKX. That's from DEA Condiment. Deacon Dummond. I think I got it there. Okay. So, which character interactions would you like to see in MK11? So, only ones that jump out to me so far is, like Shang and Shinnok, Shao Kahn and Kotal Kahn, Cyrax and something. Oh, God.
There.
Smoke. I don't know. Fujin and Raiden, those ones, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, pretty much all of mine start with the phrase noob, Cybot, and.
I kind of gotta get on that train a little bit. Assuming he's in the game, it'll be very interesting to see how he shits on every character possible. You know what? I think I'm now living my life waiting for Noob Saibot and Johnny Cage quotes. You know that's gonna be amazing. Oh my god.
Maybe Aaron Black and a lot of the women. I thought that those were a lot of good intros in MKX.
I wonder if he still has a crush on Sonya.
That could be fun.
Isn't Aaron Black her dad?
Suddenly feeling unclean again.
You don't remember that stupid it was like a leak and it was saying Aaron Black was her dad? It was the dumbest stuff.
Why would you? Never mind. I don't want to know.
It's like Kano's Sonny
on the
Bald.
internet that make up leaks are already coming from a place of, not knowing what they're doing with their lives.
Goodbye, horses. Okay, let's see.
Would you convert me into a cyber ninja? I'd convert me into a cyber ninja. Sorry.
How long has the show been on for? I don't think that's necessarily a question for us, but an hour and a half.
Yeah, give or take.
Well, I mean, I have a timer here.
It's been a couple of years that we've all learned to work with each other and kind of get along and start this little community that we've got going on here. We have a rich history and a series of perfumes which are coming out very shortly. And
when Injustice 3 is announced, it'll all be over.
I think that guy that usually complains about the animations and stuff, I think he'll be very happy because it looks like the guns in this game are very thick.
Yeah, there's a lot of very large firearms.
Yes, so good for him.
yeah, Kano's got a minigun. Just packing.
Man, Cassie's face is just night and day. I don't even understand how they got this good in a matter of 4 years.
Oh, they got tired of hearing the criticism. I remember reading a interview with Steve Moran saying that. His words were, "We got tired of seeing that we didn't know how to make faces. They made it their mission."
I mean, they got really good in Injustice 2, but this is
Next level shit.
yeah, the models and everything. They weren't kidding when they said the game itself looks much closer to that reveal trailer than anybody probably imagines. And it's not 1-to-1, but damn, does this game just look beautiful. So I can't wait to just have it, and play it. I think that's where I'm at right now. In terms of hype level, it's on and off. Certain things make me really excited, like Johnny looked great, Jade, Cabal. And there's other things where it's like Kano and Cassie, and although I like several things that Cassie had, it's just they're not for me necessarily. So I didn't get super excited or hyped by them. The story trailer I did get excited by just because I'm going to enjoy playing through that. I'd go back and watch the MK9 and MKX story modes every once in a while. I like watching through the cutscenes and all that good stuff on YouTube. So I'm looking forward to having another one of those and seeing where they take the story and which characters survive and which versions, and see what we have in store for the future, I guess.
I'm definitely intrigued by the possibility that this game could have two endings like Injustice 2 did, and what that would mean for 12.
Yeah, I guess they could always weigh reception for each and then kind of decide which one they'd rather go in from there. But I don't know, man. I can't even think of MK12 right now. I just want to play this game.
Right now is, I think, the period that hurts the most. We're almost there. It's a month and some change off.
Not even
a month and a half at this point.
Well, I mean, the
And
beta's coming.
Yeah.
I'm
There is
thinking
that. I wonder which characters will be in the beta.
Yeah, we should predict that. See what. Oh, speaking of predictions, we got to update a couple things. But yeah, no. I mean, just in general, it's really gonna ramp up here. And next weekend, or next Friday, is the stress test. So we'll see if anybody in our Discord gets in that. I hope at least a couple people do. I'd love more than anything the people that didn't get to play before, like a Temp or Django, even though Temp doesn't have the time for it. But even if he gets to play for an hour just to feel it, and then Django or Down4 or just anybody else in our Discord that didn't go to the reveal, I would love to see what other people think and people to get their hands on this. So I can't wait for that. Obviously, I hope I get in it, just because I want to play this game more than anything. I think I'm in that period where I've seen enough. I've seen enough, and I just want to play the game. And the only thing I really need to see is Frost, and that's just to, have an idea. Because if she's a lot cooler than my bar for her has just dropped so low on expectation wise that if she delivers, that's gonna really just make me super hyped again and just kind of ride me till release, giggity. But I'm at the point where I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of thinking about it. I just want to play it. I just want to start labbing a character, running sets to meet. I want to go through story. I want to find out what happens. I want to see who cameos. I want to see any of this. I want to know who's DLC. I want to know these things. I just want to be able to do it. And I think that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm kind of frustrated. And
yeah,
I'm at that lull period where it's like, it's hard to. I feel like Johnny peaked, like, in terms of how impressed I can be with a character. And I'm sure, like, Noob and stuff like that will also be really tight to see. But, man, Johnny's reveal is so good, and they did him so well in this game. I don't know if they can top that in terms of just pure goodness. I mean, that character is just, from top to bottom, just so, like, a home run. And, man. But, yeah, the stress test next week. Then we have 2 weeks from that, the actual beta, which, you can get into that, so that's a guarantee at least. So at most, we are 3 weeks and a day from playing this game. 3 weeks and a day from being able to play this game. And then after that,
Americans.
What's that?
Lousy Americans.
You can get in the beta, right?
Exclusive access. The beta, I think so, but not the stress test.
Oh, I'm talking about the beta. I mean, stress test, yeah, it's going to be limited who gets in that anyways, so I don't expect most of us to get in it. I think we'll be lucky if one of us on the show gets in it. I really think it's going to be super, super limited. They got to have a decent number of people in there just to test it, but yeah, I think it's going to be limited, and it's going to be like Injustice 2's all over again, if not even more strict, but with a limited time frame. It's not going to be a whole month. This time it's going to be 3 days. So, yeah, I don't...
quick note on that, too. If you get codes, I would not be generous with those because there's a good chance the game's online is going to be very bugged. And I think if you don't get a stress test invitation, I think the better strategy is just to wait. Because if the characters you want to play is not available, I don't know. I don't know if the stress test is going to be a great experience for a lot of people because they're going to be working on a lot of the bugs. So if you get a code, just run with it. Because you may not be doing anyone any favors by passing that on.
Well, I mean, you may not even be able to. They had you give your account and email, so maybe they made it account specific.
True. Yeah, this might be locked.
But on that, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, even from so we have 3 weeks max to wait till we get to all play the beta. And then from there, once the beta's over, so that the 31st, then it really is just 23 days remaining. So 3 weeks essentially after that. So that's crazy. We have 3 weeks and 3 weeks. I mean, that's the time till release right now is the time as from what it was from the reveal, I think. So actually a little bit less. So that's crazy to think like that. We're that close. So now I'm just in that zone.
If I run headfirst into a sideways moving truck, what are the odds I go comatose for exactly 1 month?
You'll wake up 10 years later, probably.
Fujin is still not in the game.
Was waiting for someone to name one character. Thank you, Tim.
Scarlet's hair looks good. I like the
Scarlet's
classic Scarlet hair.
Okay, yeah, the bob is weird. I like the pixie more.
I like them both. Actually, I may lean a little... I mean, the pixie's great, but I may lean a little bit towards the longer, redder hair.
I like
the
it.
red. The red I like. The bob itself, I don't know.
Are we talking about the same hair? Let me pull up a picture.
Well,
There's the one in the story mode trailer where it's supposed to be her past self, presumably.
Because there's one with like shoulder length hair now. It goes a little bit past her shoulders.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
And then is there another one? I don't even remember. But
No,
I still
thought it was
prefer the
the
short
longer
hair myself. But
Yeah,
that's me.
might be past Scarlet
I
present
kind of
Scarlet.
wish there was a ponytail one like she actually had in 9.
I'm sure that'll be an option.
Yeah, I mean, that's just transferring somebody else's hair onto her head and then recoloring it. I feel like that should be a simple process. That why not have that as an option? Hopefully, I mean, she's already sharing a mask with Jade. give her some hair.
Yeah, I saw that.
But we also saw Sonya's fatality. I forgot about that. We saw
Oh yeah.
her second fatality. So now, because her first one was the one where she like shoots them up to the helicopter and then keeps shooting them, and then they end up getting chopped to pieces. Her second one, I can't even remember how this is done. She knocks them down to the ground, and then yeah, that's right. She like chops their arm off, like just their forearm, like breaks it. So it breaks at the elbow and just comes off. So that was brutal. Then she elbows them in the face, and their face just looks like smashed in. It looks all fucked up. They fall to the ground onto their back. And then all of a sudden she calls in a package. It comes out of the sky and lands, cracks their torso, like right in their abdomen area, and separates their torso from their legs. And then their torso starts to like crawl away, like the old Sue Hao fatality in Deadly Alliance. They start to like crawl away on their back, and the turret just shoots them right in the face. Like, it's pretty brutal. That's
Sonya,
rough, man. She needs a friend.
Sonya, your dad is gone, and I want you to seek help.
Yeah, she's.
This is not cool.
I'm trying to think of all the other fatalities, but that's pretty brutal. That was rough.
Yeesh.
But yeah, so that one was all right. It wasn't my favorite, but I think closing this up, and well, I guess there was one other thing I want to address, but I think going through, currently my favorite top 3 fatalities, if we all want to list them off, I'm really liking I think my favorite is still Johnny's triple take, and then my second favorite is Cabal's, and then my third favorite is probably Cassie's. I'm gonna say the heart more than the kick, but it's a close call. Scorpions would be an honorable mention. I do like the split. What are you guys thinking?
Number one,
I agree that Johnny's triple heads is still the top of the list.
Triple head is number 1 for me. Number 2 is Scarlet's heart pump. Number 3, Cabal's. So far.
Yeah, it's hard because I don't want to like forget the ones that we've known since the reveal.
Sure.
Like, it's already starting to feel like they're taking a backseat, even if I like them more. Because I still really love Scorpion's one with the heated up chain cutting them down the middle.
Right.
Cassie making the heart inside you is definitely in the top 3 though. So I guess that's my 3.
Okay, Temp.
I know a lot of people aren't crazy about it, but I really like Sub-Zero's executioner fatality. I think it's simple and clean. It's where he freezes you
cuts off
and
the
then
head.
cuts your head off. Yeah, I think that's really good. It's simple, but that's what I like about it. Almost all the other fatalities, even Johnny's, are good, and then it goes too far. Like, Johnny's cage fatality is brilliant until the head gets stuck on his fist. I'm like, okay, now they're taking it too far. Cabal's fatality Cabal would have the best fatality free if it wasn't for the ending. It's like, you had a really good thing going, and then the post-mortem. So, if I had to rank them, I want to say Sub-Zero's executioner fatality. I will say Cassie's nut kick. I like a lot. I think is really, really good. And I'm gonna say, I want to get shit on so bad. I'm gonna say Scarlet's heart explosion. I like those fatalities a lot.
No one's
I
shitting on you for that.
I don't think that one's a controversial one.
I like that one too. That was on my list.
That one's like
I'm
middle of the
forgetting
pack for
something,
me,
but-
so yeah, I don't hate it.
I'm gonna give it
Not
a
3.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
honorable mention to Jade's little staff spin maneuver. I like that one too.
I do like that one, yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
It's one of those cases where like there is maybe an unnecessary extra step, but I don't mind it so much because it feels like a nice little sassy thing she does. So
I only took points off because of the eye bulge. That's the only reason why I took points off. Once I saw the eye bulge, it was just, I'm like, it's too many eye bulges at this point.
There is a
So
lot of
many-
eye stuff. There is a lot of
so much eye stuff in this game. They're
Yeah.
everywhere,
There's
left to right and
quite a-
center.
Quite A reusing of assets.
I'm waiting for someone to inflate someone else, and the eyes are the first thing to pop out of the body.
Oh man, I hope Katana's Kiss of Death is not in this game.
I'm surprised that Raiden's second doesn't make the eyes pop out.
Yeah, no kidding. So we got one more question here that we'll answer. Jimmy the Wrestler says, or asks, what do you guys think are the secret game modes they haven't announced yet? Like, what are they? Man, that's a good question because they really haven't talked about anything else in this game. Like, there is still, it feels like so much under wraps, and because there's that other single, I mean, they haven't shown us the crypt at all. They haven't shown us the other, I guess there's another single player, but I think that is the crypt, so we'll just say that is the secret single player mode that we haven't gotten any view on. As far as multiplayer modes, I don't know. They haven't said anything about a team combat coming back from MKX or any of that stuff. We don't know anything about online modes. They always seem to add something. Like they added the hot seat to the King of the Hill last time. They added team combat last time. So yeah, we don't really know. I would imagine that's coming soon. I would imagine by the end of the month we'll know. Like we'll get like a modes trailer or like a faction battle trailer type of thing for whatever their new kind of online gimmick is going to be. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that we really only know, the basics still of what they're offering. And I don't think it's because there's nothing else there. They're usually good about packing their game full with content. And I guess there is the towers and stuff.
Yeah, we know about the Towers of Time. That was pretty much it.
It's funny to think that as much as we know about the roster, in terms of modes, we're still kind of in the dark, relatively speaking.
And stages, like, we've only seen 3 officially. Like, on the select screen, there's still only 3, but they've shown off glimpses of several others. But
yeah, it's weird that they haven't been adding stages to what they play on the Combat Cast.
Yeah.
All I've got to say is, please no invasion boss, please no invasion boss, please no invasion boss. God, no.
This is going to be... Well, yeah, oh my gosh.
I can't take that shit again. I just can't.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a big... The only one I liked was in Injustice, where they did where the 3 of you could fight the boss at the same time. That was kind of cool. Yeah, this might be the most, like, fresh we're going into a Mortal Kombat game in forever. Like, we will know seemingly very little unless... And even if they do show off a lot of it in this last month and a half until release, it's going to be so fresh that it'll still remain that way by the time we actually get to play it, because it's not like we've seen it for months. So it's cool. That is a big benefit of the shorter release schedule, and the fact that they're still doing kind of the slower releases, even with the shorter window that we're in, is it's all going to feel like we haven't seen... Like, there's still going to be the characters that got oversaturated because they showed them off a bunch, or the same 3 stages we saw a bunch. Those are going to be less interesting by the time we actually get to play the game. But man, there's so much still there. Like, just not even that we haven't really got to see. So that's kind of cool.
And I kind of really like that. It feels like entering that cheat code in like MK Trilogy and finding out there's like a whole other different, like, what is it? Was it a tournament or a 4-on-4 or like an 8-on? I actually remember.
Yeah.
But it feels old school. I'm liking it.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. We'll have some fun stuff there. And yeah, I mean, there's still several roster characters we have yet to see, so there's still some good stuff. And I can only hope that the story trailer and the 2 characters on the Combat Cast is a sign that we will start ramping up what we see. But like I said, I mean, we're so close now, it doesn't even matter. Give us a little bit here and there, and by the time we get to play the beta, that'll help tide us over till release, because then it's just we're counting down 3 weeks. That's nothing. But on that note, let's wrap up here. I did want to update the fantasy drafts, since we got several other characters revealed since the last time we've updated. We had Johnny, we had Jackie, we had Aaron, and Kodal. Obviously, we're just sticking with the officially announced or revealed ones. We're not going over the leaked roster, so we're not counting those characters quite yet until they're actually revealed. Plus, there could be more that we don't know about, or whatever. So we don't want to presume anybody's there that may not be. On any rate, the change in standings are: first is still Temp with 41 points. Down Fatality now jumped to second, just 1 point ahead of Brusque, who's in third place with 34 points. And then Razor is right behind him by 1 point at fourth place with 33 points. I jumped up to fifth from last, so yay me. I'm at 25 points. In sixth with 21 points, and then Chad and Sai are tied for seventh with 19 points. So there's still a cluster of us that's not too far off. You can look through your own roster to see what, sort of chance you might stand with the remaining characters. But yeah, so that's where we're looking so far. Temp has a decent lead, especially if one of those rumored characters gets into the game. I think he might win. But I think Down 4 actually has a decent shot, just looking at some of the characters he has left. Like,
I actually can't remember which character you're talking about.
I think if you look down your list, you'll probably know.
1 second.
I'll be over here sucking it.
The lettering's so small.
You click on the picture and then open it. Open original after you click on it. It works better that way.
Give me a minute.
Sucking it.
No,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's going to be big points for you. So that could potentially seal the deal for you. But Down 4 is not too far behind you. He's got 35 points, and you're at 41. So he's 6 points behind, and he has some decent characters left as well, plus some DLC rumblings are on his list as well. So if that pans out...
Tell Down 4 you can say that shit to my face.
Well... That's interesting, because backstage we have Down 4. Come on out. Yeah. Jerry. Starts pushing over chairs, just pulling each other's hair. All right. Anyways, on that note, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you guys next time for episode 108. And they didn't say anything about a combat cast next week, so we may not be getting anything. Or maybe we get another trailer. Who knows? But yeah. So we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Much love.
Take care, everybody.
Later, nerds.